Guys, I have something to tell you. I'm not going to be doing a Maroon 5 ranking, but to make it up to you guys, we're doing the Beatles instead. Let's go! Yeah, I didn't really want to make the Maroon 5 ranking that much, but that doesn't matter. I've been listening to a good amount of Beatles as of recently, and I have to say they are pretty fire. So I decided to replace the Maroon 5 ranking with a Beatles one. This ranking, I'm gonna try something new and have a tier system. The songs will be separated by tiers such as S, A, B, and so on, but it's not a tier list. Also, since the Beatles is such a widely enjoyed band, I may have some unpopular opinions in this video, just a heads up. If you disagree with one of my picks so much that you need to write a lengthy hate comment about it, then I'm all for that, to be honest, as long as it's constructive criticism and you're not just getting mad at me simply because you disagree with me. Now, here are the guidelines for what counts as a Beatles song, because that's pretty broad. I consider a song by the Beatles if it's on the Wikipedia list of Beatles songs, because that's the most trustworthy list of songs I can use. I've counted B-sides on this list, but I do not consider songs like versions of their songs in other languages and remakes of their own songs that were released as separate singles and such. To be honest, that's really all the guidelines. So strap in, grab a snack, grab a friend. Let's get into every Beatles song ranked. Here we go. Starting at number 212, we got Revolution 9. Yeah, what else did you expect to be at the worst spot? Believe it or not, there are actually people out there that think this is a masterpiece. I'm not one of those people. The song is literally just a sound mashup that goes on for 8 minutes. 8 very long minutes. And of course, John wrote this. Even if this is, quote, ahead of its time, it still doesn't sound very good. Honestly, though, I don't hate this song. Probably because I think it's just funny how bad it is. But yeah, definitely the Beatles' worst song, though. 211, You Know My Name, look up the number. I don't know what this even is, but apparently this was a B-side on Let It Be, which makes sense, I guess. It's literally just the band messing around in the studio for 4 minutes. No joke, that's the entire song. What a masterpiece. 210, Old Brown Shoe. Okay, a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on this one. I know a lot of people enjoy this song, but I am not one of those people. For the record, I'm a huge George Harrison fan. He's my favorite Beatle, but his music mixed with those weird tracks where the band throws together a bunch of random stuff leaves the song to not be one of my favorites. Not horrible, though. 209, Bad Boy, Bart Simpson's favorite Beatles song. This is a very weird song for the Beatles to cover, but it's alright. 208, Wild Honey Pie. I know some of you are gonna crucify me for putting this above Old Brown Shoe, so let me explain. Yeah, the song's instrumental is horrible, but I feel like it isn't as bad as some people say it is. Plus, it's only 53 seconds, so it isn't that long either. 207, The Continuing Story of Bungalow Bill. Following A Wild Honey Pie is another song considered to be one of the Beatles' worst, and I can't disagree. This barely even feels like a song, but the chorus is not bad, so got some leverage. 206, It's All Too Much. We technically end this very short album with a pretty long song. I say that because most of the songs on the album weren't even by the Beatles on a Beatles album. So anyway, the song isn't bad, but it goes on way too long. 205, I Want to Be Your Man. Only the Beatles can sing off-key and not make it even sound that bad, but this is probably their worst song up to this point. I think it's decent, though. 204, Anna, Go With Him. I don't exactly know who Anna is, but you can tell this is an early Beatles song by how John sings in it. That doesn't mean it's bad, though. 203, Two of Us. We begin the final Beatles album with this song. I think Let It Be is an overhated album, but I'm not crazy about this one. It isn't bad, just alright. Oh, also, the Beatles got some new looks. Ringo has a mustache, John has no facial hair now, Paul has a fire beard, and George has a fresh mustache and haircut. Good job, guys. 202, All I've Gotta Do. Sounds like most of their songs by this point, but still not bad. 201, Boys. Ah, yes, the Boys. Anyway, I don't know why they're talking about boys now, but if you like very 60s songs, then you should give this a listen. 200, Tomorrow Never Knows. Okay, I know a lot of you will get mad at me for this one, but just listen up. This song is an incredibly weird one. It's one of those Beatles songs where it's just random sound effects and singing, and you already know how I feel about those. Weird song to end out an okay album. Sorry, Revolver fans. 199, There's a Place. Sounds very similar to Please Please Me, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But this is one of their worst songs on this album. But still not bad, though. 198, All My Loving. Can I just say how weird it is how many love songs they had early in their career, considering they almost never made any in their later songs. Anyway, the song's fine. 197, Can't Buy Me Love. Thank you for teaching your viewers a valuable lesson, Beatles team. 196, Things We Said Today. It's fine. That's all. 195, She's a Woman. The Lorix's favorite Beatles song. Anyway, an alright song, but has a weird concept. 194, Rain. Even for early Beatles, this is weirdly very slow. I don't know why, but the song's alright. 193, Don't Bother Me. It's fine. That's all I really have to say. These With the Beatles songs are all starting to blend together for me. Or should I say coming together. 192, I Need You. I appreciate the new instruments, but I'm not a fan of how the song goes off key a lot. Oh, George wrote this? Well, that means it's an automatic S tier. 191, Devil in Her Heart. I mean, I don't think With the Beatles is a bad album. I actually think it's fine, but these songs sure do blend together. 190, The Inner Light. Arguably the Beatles' most forgotten song, and no wonder. Not only was it a B-side to a song that wasn't even on an album, but the song is just weird. It uses a mix of a bunch of random instruments, but I don't know, I thought it was okay. 189, Maggie May. I don't know why this song is so short, but okay. It should have gone on one more line though. I did like John's epic R roll though. 188, Baby It's You. I like the marimba near the end of the song, but outside of that, it kind of sounds like everything else we've seen up to this point. Still good though. 187, Flying. Where's the singing? Also, I can't tell if that's Ringo I hear or not. 186, Anytime at All. Were phones that mainstream in 1964? Maybe that's a dumb question, it probably is, but they've mentioned them in like 5 of their songs up to this point. Anyway, the song's fine. 185, Roll Over Beethoven. Yay, just what I wanted. The two greatest musicians finally did a collab. Anyway, the song's okay. 184, You Like Me Too Much. I feel like we already had a song with the same title. I'm probably just blending these songs together in my mind though. Alright song. 183, This Boy. Alright song, but apparently according to the comments they screwed up this song a lot while recording. Just thought that was interesting to mention. 182, Blue Jay Way. A lot of you are gonna get mad at me for this, but I don't really care. I kept hearing that this was an underrated gem, and do I agree? Not really. I mean, it's fine, but certainly not a masterpiece. Or maybe it is, because George is pulling a Ringo and being so cracked that he doesn't need to play an instrument, so he plays the floor instead. I know that doesn't sound like it makes much sense, but trust me, you'll see Ringo doing that same thing later in this ranking. 181, I'll Cry Instead. John plans world destruction, but puts it off so he can cry instead. That's a good description of this song. 180, It Won't Be Long. First song of With the Beatles, and I think it's alright, but I do enjoy those backing vocals. 179, Thank You Girl. Okay, we get it, you discovered how to echo your voice. Still an alright song though. 178, Your Mother Should Know. The song is fine, but Paul disses our moms and says they were born a long time ago, so F tier for being mean. 177, Another Girl. I think this song's alright, but I think it's funny that the song after this is called You're Gonna Lose That Girl. 176, Lovely Rita. I don't know who Rita is exactly, but the song's okay. 175, Long Tall Sally. The Little Richard voice returns. And apparently there was this weird album that came out that was named after this song. It wasn't a studio album, but I don't know what it is. Whatever. 174, Hold Me Tight. For some reason they sound American in the song. Anyway, it's an alright song. 173, Tell Me What You See. The song's okay, but I think it's interesting that the song after this is I've Just Seen a Face. It's like the songs are connecting. How cool. 172, Piggies. This one was not as bad as I was expecting, but I really wasn't listening to the song and I just listened to the lyrics closely and I just felt bad for the piggies, even though this is definitely referencing something else. I mean, I love pigs. They're so cute. Like this one, and this one, and this one. How adorable. 171, Yes It Is. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I don't get why John doesn't want us to wear red tonight. 170, Not a Second Time. I'm sorry if these With the Beatles reviews are boring, but it is kind of hard finding things to say. Fine song though. 169, For No One. It's an okay song, but I just have to talk about George on this album cover. He's staring into my soul. 168, Matchbox. Yes, Ringo returns. This song's fine, but it has Ringo. 167, And Your Bird Can Sing. I don't know what this song is about. Probably something about freedom, I'm guessing. Anyway, it's okay. 166, Rocky Raccoon. Wait, is this a Guardians of the Galaxy reference? People who have actually seen Guardians of the Galaxy, comment if they use this song in the movie or not. I'm not even worried about the song. I just care about Guardians of the Galaxy. 165, She's Leaving Home. I don't know who she is, but goodbye, I guess. Alright song, though. 164, Only a Northern Song. We begin this incredibly short album with this. I'm not really sure what this is, but it's alright. 163, Happiness is a Worm Gun. Sorry, but this one is overrated. This has like 4 different melodies in it, and this isn't Bohemian Rhapsody, so it doesn't pull it off very well. Still not bad, though. 162, Good Morning, Good Morning. By how they describe it, I wouldn't say this is a good morning, but you do you. 161, Till There Was You. My right ear enjoyed this one. Jokes aside, I like the song's instrumental, but the vocals are okay. Still good though. 160, Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. Fine song to end on, but I think this could have worked for a hard day's night. 159, Baby You're a Rich Man. After two masterpieces, we're back to the Magical Mystery Tour's definition of normality, meaning it's not very normal. This song's fine, I guess, but that one instrumental in the back is kind of annoying. If you listen to the song, you'll notice it too, but it sounds like some electrified piano. I don't know what it is. 158, Dr. Robert. I don't know who Dr. Robert is, but I might have to give him a call. Wait, Dr. Bob reference in the Beatles? 157, I Call Your Name. A fine song, a very, very fine song. But I just realized, why were like all of these songs remade in 2009? What happened to that year? 156, Tell Me Why. Watch out, Backstreet Boys, the Beatles have got you beat. Anyway, I think the song is A-okay. 155, You're Gonna Lose That Girl. Oh no, I don't want John to steal my girlfriend. 154, I've Got a Feeling. Black Eyed Peas, better watch out. So, this song has very questionable lyrics. It's alright though. 153, The Fool on the Hill. New instrument unlocked, a recorder of all things. Does not actually sound as bad as you would expect. 152, Honey Don't. Yes, we finally get a Ringo song. I'm so happy. The man, the myth, the legend. Ringo finally gets to sing. 151, I'm Happy Just to Dance with You. One of the songs where you can hear the drums the clearest. Good job, Sir Ringo. Anyway, the song's alright. 150, You Really Got a Hold on Me. I don't know why there's two songs in a row about holding, but this one's fine. 149, And I Love Her. Apparently this is one of the more famous songs on this album, but sorry guys, this just sounds like all the other songs from the album to me. Not saying it's bad though. 148, Act Naturally. Yes, the legend Ringo is back! And I know Ringo always sounds Irish, but he sounds extra Irish in this song for some reason. Anyway, it's an enjoyable little tune. 147, Why Don't We Do It in the Road? Hey, there are kids listening. 146, Fixing a Hole. I'm not sure how mentally stable they were while writing this. Despite that, it isn't half bad. 145, I'll Follow the Sun. Okay, so I think this is the first song that's largely sung by only Paul and not John, which I'm surprised took so long. Also, apparently this was written in 1958 when Paul was 16, so impressive. 144, I Don't Want to Spoil the Party. I like this song, but can I just talk about George's terrible haircut? Comb your hair, man. 143, Mr. Moonlight. I don't know who Mr. Moonlight is, but apparently we love him and he needs to come again. Fine song. 142, Dear Prudence. I don't know who Prudence is, but I hate that John says Prudence 9 times a second in the song. Despite that, this song's alright. 141, When I Get Home. This song is very fitting when you consider the movie it came from. 140, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. Fine song. I enjoyed it, I guess. 139, I'll Be Back. Extremely fitting song to end the album on. Yay, I'm so excited to see the Beatles back on their next album. 138, Babies in Black. Beatles for Sale may be the album where they started to make less love songs, but here we get a return to form. Still good though. 137, I Should Have Known Better. Another song using the harmonica. It's not a bad song. 136, We Can Work It Out. Decent song, but I don't know why this wasn't put on an album considering how iconic it is. 135, Sexy Sadie. Fine song, but as always, I don't know who Sadie is. 134, 8 Days a Week. Why, yes, I also love the Beatles 8 Days a Week. Anyway, the song's decent, and it's nice to get back to a John song, I guess. 133, Long, Long, Long. What is with the White Album? It jumps from heavy rock songs to calming, relaxing ones like this one. I thought this song was alright. 132, The Night Before. The song's decent, but can I just comment on this album cover? They aren't even spelling help. It's more like a T, a Y, an L, and is that an X? Yeah, bad job, guys. 0 out of 10. 131, A Cry Baby Cry. I would say I don't understand what the song's about, but do I know what any Beatles song is about? It's probably an allegory for something. Anyway, the song's alright. I wonder what song will follow this one on the album. 130, Ask Me Why. This song, like Ikes to repeat itself a lot. Anyway, I think it's fine. 129, Julia, a song John made dedicated to his late mom. Aw, how sweet. 128, You Can't Do That. This is the song that plays whenever somebody gets canceled on Twitter. 127, I've Just Seen a Face. This was also better than I was expecting. Yeah. 126, If I Fell. May I just bring up this beautiful album cover? It's probably one of my favorite ones from the Beatles, if I'm being honest. Anyway, the song's fine. 125, Mother Nature's Son. Is that one of George's Indian instruments I hear in the back? Probably not, but a fine song anyway. 124, Money, That's What I Want. Final song in With the Beatles, and it actually wasn't too bad. Luckily for the Beatles, they did end up getting money later on in their careers. 123, Words of Love. John becomes a doctor in this song, I guess. That's all I got. 122, When I'm 64. This song is weird when you consider Paul turned 64 20 years ago, but a fine song. I like the new instruments. 121 altogether now. I'll give the song this. It did wake me up. This is a good rallying and or chanting song though, so good job, fellas. 120 Little Child. Okay, so objectively this song is horrible, but I don't know why, but I kind of enjoy this. Even though they sing off key and they play their harmonica wrong at some parts, I still think it sounds pretty good. 119 Chains. Even though I feel like they've used this beat a trillion times in their songs, I still enjoy this one. 118 Please Please Me. It's the name of the album. They said it. Anyway, this is one of their most famous early songs, and I get why. It's pretty good. 117, Martha My Dear. This song uses a lot more brass instruments than normal. Anyway, for a song dedicated towards Paul's dog, no joke, it isn't bad. 116, Your Blues, one of the darkest Beatles songs out there. Also, apparently this song was written for this other group John Lennon was in called the Dirty Mac. What? Anyway, it's a pretty good song. 115, I'm So Tired. John puts so much emotion into this one that it feels like he's telling an actual story that happened. Anyway, it's fine, but ends very abruptly. 114, Magical Mystery Tour. Okay, they said the name of the album in the song, but after 3 of the highest acclaimed albums of all time, we kick off the Beatles' 9th album with this. It's a good introduction to their weirdest album, I'll give them that. 113, Within You, Without You. George Harrison at it again with the Indian instruments. Actually makes a lot of sense when you consider what George Harrison believed in. Hot take though, the song is too long, but it's alright. 112, Day Tripper. I like the bass on this song, even though it sounds like the one from the Chips Ahoy ad, Jesus Christ. Anyway, a decent song. 111, I Feel Fine. Ringo is so cracked that he can play the drums without playing the drums. 110, Misery. Aw, don't be sad. Anyway, the song's fine. 109, The Ballad of John and Yoko. This is a really weird song for them to make. They haven't ever made a song this meta before, but now they're making one now. Oh, John wrote this song, of course he did. The song's alright. 108, I Saw Her Standing There. Nice beach sounding tune, if that makes any sense. I like it. 107, I Want to Tell You. I thought this one wasn't half bad. That's what I want to tell you. 106, Hello Goodbye. I always thought this one was from Sgt. Pepper's, but no. I mean, they're even wearing the Sgt. Pepper's outfits in the music video. Despite that, this one was better than I remember it being. Pretty good. 105, I'm Only Sleeping. Apparently the song won a Grammy after 58 years. Why? Stunning music video though, I'll give it that. 104, Yellow Submarine. Yes, the legend Ringo is back. This is the most emotional Beatles song of all time. It tells the harrowing tale of living in a yellow submarine. If I'm being honest, I cried listening to this. 10 out of 10. 103, Getting Better. Sad to say this song is not getting better, but it still is decent. Okay, I know that unfunny metaphor made this song sound bad, but in reality, I just have nothing to say. 102, Dizzy Miss Lizzy. Okay, so this is a controversial one. After the emotional ending of Yesterday, which we'll get into later, the album finishes with this song. I get why people would hate the song for that, but I don't know, man. I actually enjoy this one. John sounds like he's having fun recording it the whole way through, and I gotta respect that. 101, Rock and Roll Music. I swear I've heard this instrumental a trillion times, but oh wait, this is a cover song? Okay. This song does get me fired up though, so I enjoy it. 100, She Loves You. Here it is, the song everybody references when comparing early Beatles to later Beatles. It's a fine song, but I don't know why this wasn't put into an album. And I mentioned this in the intro, but there's a German version of this song, and I will not be counting that. 99, I'm a Loser. Beatles for Sale is really where they started to shift towards making more different music compared to their first 3 albums. John hits extremely low notes in this song, which surprised me. Good song. 98, I Will. A nice relaxing song that contrasts a lot of the White Album songs. I approve. 97, Carry That Weight. Yes, Ringo is here yet again. This song is good, but I just gotta mention that even though Abbey Road is the Beatles' second longest album at 17 songs, something that this album does that the others don't is have their songs connect to each other, at least in the second half. I don't think I've ever seen an album do this before. It's kind of fascinating. I mentioned this later with Me and Mr. Mustard, but other songs in the album also connect, not just this one. 96, I Want to Hold Your Hand. Of course, this song is pretty good, but I'm surprised why such an iconic song wasn't put into one of their albums. But I don't know why, but the song kind of makes me feel scared, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the old recording of their performance of this song? I don't know. 95, Slow Down. This is John's vocal cords' least favorite Beatles song. He does scream a lot in it. 94, Blackbird. This song is definitely an allegory for something, but I don't know what. Anyway, I enjoyed this one. 93, Golden Slumber. I liked this song, but the comments were definitely overhyping how good of a singer Paul Paul is in this song. I mean, he's good, but he's not the greatest of all time. I've heard him do the Little Richard voice a trillion times. It doesn't faze me anymore. Who knows? Maybe I'm being too mean to him. Maybe I'm just used to hearing him sing at this point. Probably, honestly. 92, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. They said it! They said the name of the album in the song. This song is weird, though. I have no idea who Sgt. Pepper's is, even after I looked him up, but I guess I'll enjoy the show. Oh, and this is an alright start to the album. 91, Eleanor Rigby. I remember not liking this one, but after listening to it again for this ranking, I actually enjoyed it a lot. It tells a pretty dark story of dying and being forgotten in the future. This is a good one. 90, Sun King. I like that they just start speaking Spanish in the second half. Thank you guys for representing my Spanish brothers from Argentina and what other Spanish-speaking countries are there? Suriname! 89, I'll Get You. Surprisingly good for an early Beatles song. Better than I was expecting, at least. Pretty decent. 88, Kansas City. Yes! All Kansas City people rise up for our national anthem. All Chiefs fans rise up. All Royals fans rise up. All K-State and KU fans rise up. Okay, nationalism aside, it's pretty impressive how Paul managed to pull off his voice in this song. I enjoyed it. 87, What You're Doing. In this song, Paul becomes Isabella from Phineas and Ferb. This song's pretty good, too. 86, Mean Mr. Mustard. By how they describe him, Mr. Mustard doesn't seem very mean at all. I just kind of feel bad for him, honestly. Also, this is one of their shortest songs. Too bad it's good. 85, Polythene Pan. Wait, the reason Mean Mr. Mustard is so short is because this is that song's sequel. I gotta say, that's pretty cool. Anyway, this song is pretty good too, but yet again, too short. But I heard the song after this is another sequel, so let's see how that goes. 84, She Came Through the Bathroom Window. We end this epic saga on this one. It's fine. 82, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band Reprise. I think it's creative that they remade the opening song of the album for the song near the end of the album. As they say, work smarter, not harder. 81, A Little Help from My Friends. The legend Ringo has returned, and this time he needs help from his friends. It's good. 80, Her Majesty. Okay, so for some flipping reason, we couldn't just end the album out on the end, which we'll get to later. So Paul shoved this song in at the last second. I can't lie, it is really good though. It got knocked down because it is their shortest song at 26 seconds. But if it was a full song, it would have been amazing. Weird way to end off one of the greatest albums of all time though. 79, All You Need Is Love. We end the weirdest Beatles album with this, and it actually is not bad. I like the She Loves You callback at the end, and the song is a good closing song. I enjoyed it. 78, It's Only Love. This one was better than I expected. It's an incredibly short song, but still a good one. 77, You Never Give Me Your Money. Wait, is this a secret sequel to Money That's What I Want? Anyway, this song's pretty good. 76, Do You Want to Know a Secret? I like the epic Fingers 11 strum at the beginning. Besides that, I really enjoyed this one. 75, Nowhere Man. Probably their most cynical song so far, and I was probably just paying extra attention to the lyrics this time around, but the rhymes were also pretty creative. 74, Norwegian Wood. Pretty good. I like the Indian instruments that George would go on to use in a bunch of his songs later on. 73, Love Me Do. The first Beatles song, and a pretty good one at that. I like the harmonica. I think it's a harmonica at least, and the song is very catchy. 72, From Me to You. I actually enjoyed this one. I don't understand why this wasn't released on an album though, but I do prefer the Bee Gees version. Yes, that is a real thing. Look it up. 71, A Taste of Honey. I went in expecting this to be trash, but truth be told, it wasn't half bad. I think it's unintentionally funny, to be honest, but it's also pretty catchy. 70, A Hard Day's Night. They said it! They said the name of the album in the song. Anyway, this is a pretty good opener. It also fits the movie very well. 69, Helter Skelter. This song was very ahead of its time, and a very impressive song, though it did inspire something that I won't get into. If you know, you know, and no, I did not mean the song something. Still a great one, though. 68, Don't Pass Me By. Yes, Ringo has returned, and this time it's actually a song written by him. One of only two. I don't even care about reviewing the song. Since it was written by Ringo, it's S tier. 67, Hey Bulldog. Wait, isn't this the same recording studio as Lady Madonna? The melody is similar too, but like that song, I enjoy this one. 66, Here, There, and Everywhere. Pretty emotional song we got here. Not a bad one either. 65, For You Blue. A very funky instrumental, and the last song where John Lennon was the main singer in a song for the band to my knowledge. Pretty good song to go out on. 64, Because. It's hard to follow up on Here Comes the Sun, but this song did a fine job. Definitely the worst one in the album by this point, but that just shows how legendary Abbey Road is. 63, What Goes On? Yes, the Chad Ringo is back. This is probably his best song up to this point, honestly. 62, Octopus's Garden. Yes, the legend Ringo is on the writing team a second time. No, I did not intend for 2 Ringo songs to be consecutive on the ranking. To be honest, this song unironically kind of slaps, and not just because I'm biased towards Ringo. This song always comes up when talking about Ringo's writing, and I can't blame people for that. This song is very comedic by the album standard, so it sticks out a bit, but not in a bad way. I enjoyed this one. 61, Girl, their most cynical song up to this point, if I'm being honest. I told you Rubber Soul was darker than their first 5 albums. Anyway, I enjoyed this one. 60, I'm the Walrus, a deeply emotional ballad about being the walrus, cuckoo, cuckoo, and being the Eggman. I'm feeling a strong 10 on this one. 59, I'm Down. Paul's Little Richard voice returns. The backing vocals in the song really carry it to this highest spot for me. Pretty good. 58, Good Day Sunshine. I enjoyed this one, but weirdly enough, the chorus was my least favorite part. Still good though. 57, Twist and Shout. Very energetic song and a good way to end the Beatles' first album. 56, Every Little Thing. I enjoy the instrumental and the different instruments. That's all I got. 55, No Reply. The Beatles are in color, and they're for sale. We kick off Beatles for Sale with a very good song, and probably the first where John's voice sounds more like their later songs compared to their first 3 albums. 57, She Said, She Said. This song sounds kinda trippy to me. Also, can we just appreciate Ringo's crazy drum performance on this song? 53, Dig It. Did you know that this is the lowest rated Beatles song? I don't get why, because I actually really enjoyed this one. Okay, so there are 2 versions to this song. One that's 40 seconds and one that's 4 minutes. Because I'm just so based, I listened to the 4-minute one, so that's the version I'm ranking if you're wondering. 52, P.S. I Love You. Very unique sounding song for the Beatles at the time, which used some new instruments. I enjoy it. 51, Revolution 1. Not to be confused with Revolution. Or Revolution 9. Seriously, why did they make 3? Anyway, this is the least notable of the 3, but still good. 50, Birthday. Yay, it's my birthday! Too bad I'm 3 months early. Good song though. 49, Michelle. A great song with a great melody and great everything. If my name was Michelle, I would be so honored to listen to this. 48, I Me Mine. It feels like George's songwriting has gotten better over the Beatles' years. This one's another good one by Harrison. I liked it. 47, I'm Looking Through You. Another song that gets me all pumped up. This was enjoyable. 46, If I Needed Someone. I feel like I've heard this song before, but I'm not sure. Anyway, amazing song. What else do I have to say? 45, Got to Get You Into My Life. This song is, wait, this song was in the Minion movie? Well, then it's a 10 out of 10. 44, One After 909. Here we get a return to form, meaning it's a classic early Beatles rock song. Not a bad thing though. I enjoyed this one a lot. 43, Glass Onion. I love that the song references a lot of the songs from Magical Mystery Tour. I thought that was a really nice addition. This one also has a really good rhythm. Would have gone a lot higher up if it wasn't for the extremely abrupt ending though. 42, The Word. This song kind of sounds like an advertisement for The Word. Anyway, don't let these trash jokes take away from the fact that this song is great. 41, Wait. Amazing song, but apparently this was supposed to go on the Help album, but was put on this one instead. Now, I'm not sure if that's actually true or not, but the lyrics seem more like Help, but the instrumental feels more like Rubber Soul. Like I said, an amazing song though. 40, Revolution. This is the loudest flipping song of all time. The entire song sounds bass boosted. Also, their mics are just awful. Despite all of that, I think this song is amazing. It will wake you up, that's for sure. 39, Ticket to Ride. Of course, I really enjoyed this one. I like the guitars, the drums, and everything. Okay, it's harder to explain why you enjoy a song than you might think, alright? 38, The End. Here it is, the finals Beatles song that had all 4 members in it. So yeah, before Now and Then, it was a bit confusing what the real final Beatles song was. This song was not the last to be released, but Get Back was the last song on their last album, but Get Back was a single before it was put on the album, so it's a bit confusing. But this was a very good song to end on for the next 54 years. I really enjoyed it. 37, Love You Too. Another great one by George, and I love the Indian instruments here. Definitely one up there. 36, Back in the USSR. We begin the Beatles' longest album with a song about the USSR. Oh yes, the communist Soviet Russia, the land of Vladimir Putin and vodka, and Soviet welfare, the nation of the harsh northern winters, and Masha and Bear, and all things Russian. 35, Savoy Truffle, I don't know how you pronounce that. A song made up of lyrics about food. Better than you would think. The instrumental is way too good for a song like this. 34, Good Night. And finally, after 29 songs in the painful 8 minutes of Revolution 9, we end this incredibly long double album on this song. Now, if this was not the final song of such a long album, it would not go this high, but this song is better simply because it comes after such a long and painful song and such a long album, as I've said. A perfect conclusion. 33, Run For Your Life. Very creepy lyrics aside, I don't know, man, I can't act like I don't absolutely love this song. The chorus is just so good, and the rhythm is too. Like I said, the lyrics are very creepy, but that doesn't really matter, to be honest, when the song sounds this good. I will admit, this is a very weird way to end out a masterpiece of an album. 32, Think For Yourself. This one legitimately caught me off guard by how good it was. Their best chorus up to this point, and a song that gets me pumped up every time I hear it. One of their most underrated songs. 31, You Won't See Me, another amazing one. It really is fascinating how much of a step up Rubber Soul has been compared to their first 5 albums. The chorus is also great. I honestly quote this song a good amount of times. 30, In My Life. It's amazing. An incredibly sad song about loss. It's especially sad when you consider 2 of the Beatles are dead, but I won't go into that so I don't get myself sad. 29, Across the Universe. Of course this one's great. John's singing in this one is better than it normally already is, and the instrumental is near orchestra level. Okay, well, the song might have been performed by an orchestra, but still it's great. 28, Let It Be. They said it! They said the name of the album in the song! I liked this one a lot, which isn't surprising considering this is their most famous song and Let It Be for obvious reasons. 27, Penny Lane, a very catchy song. This makes me want to travel to Penny Lane, but I haven't decided if I want to go to Penny Lane or Abbey Road. 26, Paperback Writer. Again, Ringo's so cracked that he doesn't even need to play the drums. Anyway, of course, it's a very good song. It definitely gets me pumped up, but I don't get why this wasn't put onto Revolver. Okay, this is me from the future. According to some sources, the song is on Revolver, but I don't think it is, so I don't know what's going on. 25, Obladi. Oblada. A lot of people don't like this one, but I really enjoyed it. I especially enjoy the chorus of it. Plus, Paul said bruh before it was popular, so automatically it's a 10 out of 10. 24, Oh Darling. When this has been the worst song in your album by this point, you know you have a spectacular album. As I said, this may be the worst so far, but still extremely good. Has, I'd argue, one of the most iconic instrumentals in music history. Even if you know nothing about the Beatles, you've probably heard this song's instrumental before. Besides that, Paul's singing is insanely impressive. All around great. 23, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. After 2 not very good songs, we return to normality with this incredible song. I've usually been kind of negative towards George's songs, but this one is undeniably one of his best. Ironically, the guitar on this song is magnificent, and the song is sad, but not too sad. Love this one. 22, Get Back. A really good song about JoJo from Tucson moving to California. This song was so good, they made a whole documentary named after it. I love this so much. I sure am excited for the band's next song to come out. 21, Lady Madonna. I don't know what Paul's voice in this even is. It's not the Little Richard voice or anything, and it's impressive how he managed to even sing this whole song in that voice. Obviously, the song has to go high. The instrumental is amazing, and like I said, the singing is very impressive. 20, I Want You, She's So Heavy. Wait. So you're telling me you can make an 8-minute long song and make it sound good the whole way through? Take notes, Revolution 9. One of the longest songs of its time, but also one of the best of all time. Like I said, it's insanely impressive how it managed to go on for so long but stay good all throughout. Most of the longest Beatles songs aren't my favorite, but this one is a strong exception. I could listen to it for an hour and still not be tired. That ending did catch me off guard though, but that isn't a bad thing. 19, Dig a Pony. I actually really liked this one. I enjoyed the chorus and the main parts of the song. They both sound very good to me. I liked it. 18, For the Benefit of Mr. Kite. Mr. Kite does, well, I have no idea what he's doing because the lyrics don't make any sense. But when the song is this fire, does that matter? They also refer to him as Mr. K at one point, so they are #1 SpongeBob fans. Amazing song. 17, Yesterday. Amazing. A powerful, sad, and emotional piece. A great way to end this album. Oh, wait. 16, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I was gonna say this song is weird, but of course it is. It's also amazing. The chorus is great, but if it was as good as the rest of the song, who knows how highly this would have ranked. Still stellar though. 15, Now and Then. Okay, so I have a lot to say about this one. The real final Beatles song. After 54 years and the death of half of the band, we get one last song, and thank God it turned out amazing. I heard this song the day it came out, but after listening to the other 211 songs this band has put out, it makes me respect this song a lot more, though it is weird after listening to all these songs from 50 and 60 years ago to listen to one made from 2023. Some people don't like this song, but I think they're just mad that George and John aren't here to see it, which isn't a fair way to judge it. Paul and Ringo did an excellent job at incorporating George and John into not only the song but also the music video. If only the two were here today to witness it. An excellent song to close off one of the greatest bands in history. 14, The Long and Winding Road. I don't get where all the hate for the song comes from. I love it. This song is incredible. The orchestra in the back is magnificent and Paul's singing is good as always. What more could you ask for? 13, Don't Let Me Down. Did you know that this song was a B-side? Yes, really. This song is also the most viewed on their YouTube channel, which is weird to think about. This song is mainly known for the rooftop concert, but the song is also just really good. I really liked it. 12, Drive My Car. Okay, so this song really began a big shift in their music, where they made less songs about love and made more songs about other, more dark topics. Plus, they got some new instruments and they began to sound and eventually even look different too. This was because they started to take, magic lettuce, I will call it. Despite that, I like this new direction in their music as opposed to their first 5 albums. I really liked this one. So much so that I played it 5 times and I still wasn't tired. This song surprised me a lot, too, because I've never heard it before. Good job, fellas. 11, Honey Pie. So there's wild honey pie. Then there's Honey Pie. This one is a lot better, luckily. This one is actually amazing, matter of fact. This is probably their most old-timey sounding song, if that makes any sense. That sounds like a horrible idea, but it's actually extremely good. 10, Please Mr. Postman. Okay, so I know this isn't really fair since this is a cover, and I also enjoyed the original, but come on! I think this song is great, personally, and my favorite song of theirs up to this point. Definitely my favorite of their first 4 albums. 9, A Day in the Life. Of course, near perfection. Though it may not be the greatest song of all time, as some people say, I completely understand why people would see it like that. This is probably, for lack of a better term, their most epic song they've made. I had to bring it down for its slow pace, but this song is a masterpiece. An amazing closing song to an okay album. Sorry, Sgt. Pepper's fans. 8, Taxman. Okay, I haven't been the most positive towards George's songs in this ranking so far, but this one's amazing. Love the instrumental used, and I even did some research, and I really stand by the message of the song. Amazing opener to this album. 7, Something. Directly after Come Together, we get this song. Probably my second favorite George song. We'll get to that in a second. I love the chorus, the instrumental, the singing too. I even like the music video. I know it's corny, but I still enjoy it. Even when the melody switches halfway through, it still sounds good. But give this one a listen. 6, Hey Jude. It's I Want You, She's So Heavy all over again. It's possible to make a 7-minute long song and make the entire thing good. I know half of it is filled with the na-na-na chant, and you know the one I'm talking about. But this song just gets me so pumped up that it still sounds amazing. If you haven't listened to this one yet, first, what are you doing? And second, go do it now! 5, Help. I don't even care if it's the name of the album. This song is literally a masterpiece. The singing, the instrumental, everything is perfect. The replayability is insane. I can replay this 10 times and still not be tired. But I'm not sure about the music video. They don't seem to be having much fun on this, what is that, a DIY bench? 4, Come Together. We start off this iconic album with an absolute masterpiece. Now, this was my favorite Beatles song for a long time, and I can see why. Yes, the lyrics quite literally don't make any sense, but come on, the chorus, the instrumental, the rhythm, everything else is amazing. It's hard to capture how good a song is in a review, so all of you guys watching should go give this a listen. In fact, all songs in S tier you guys should give a listen. 3, Maxwell's Silver Hammer. Yes, really. I know the song is corny, but I just love this song too much to not put it this high. I don't get why John hated this song so much, really. It tells a tale about a cold-hearted man named Maxwell who kills people for no reason with his hammer. That sounds dark, but the instrumental makes it to where this is a perfect blend of being messed up, but not being too dark or too sugar-coated. If that didn't make any sense, basically the song is just catchy, especially that chorus. I still quote the song way more than I need to. Fantastic song. 2, Strawberry Fields Forever. Actual perfection. Not too fast, not too slow. Not too long, not too short. Not too happy, not too sad. Not too weird, not too boring. I could replay this one 10 times and still not be tired of it. Though if I would knock it down for anything, the ending is a bit odd. But for a Magical Mystery Tour song, what would you expect? Everyone watching this video, pause and go listen to this song right now. Really, I'll give you some time. Go listen to it right now. You done? Okay. It was amazing, wasn't it? And also, you're telling me this and Penny Lane were back to back? And finally, the number 1 spot, you already know it is, Here Comes the Sun. What did you expect? It is perfect. One of the greatest songs of all time. I don't even care if that sounds corny. Did you know that George Harrison wrote this? This is quite possibly his best piece, and this is definitely the Beatles' best piece of all time. I'm guessing all of you have heard this before, but just in case you haven't, go listen to it right now. Go. I'll be here when you get back. Though this is one of the most iconic songs of all time, it deserves all of the praise it gets. I cannot think of a song more deserving of the number 1 spot. Even though the Beatles may have just been 4 20-year-olds, ironic, making whatever they wanted to, they are still one of the greatest bands in history, arguably the greatest. Truth be told, I really didn't dislike a single song on here. The worst was just simply boring. The fact that only a few of their songs even ended up in C tier is honestly insane. All of their songs in the top 20, I would argue, are some of the greatest songs of all time. So that is just completely insane. Though their later work was miles better than their early work, of course. That isn't to say their first 5 albums were bad, though. They were still great, even their worst one, but the later Beatles songs are very hard to live up to. But now, I think it's time for me to rank their albums. Okay, because I'm just so Sigma, I'm gonna do this without a script, because I don't know. Okay, worst has to be Yellow Submarine, because it had a pathetic 4 songs, like, come on, dude. It's not that the songs were bad, it's just there was only 4. Next is definitely With the Beatles. Most of these were just generic rock songs outside of Please Mr. Postman. Please Mr. Postman was amazing, but they were kind of just generic rock songs. They weren't bad though, they were so great, but yeah. Next is A Hard Day's Night. This was kind of just With the Beatles, but a bit better. Yeah, that was really just the whole album. Next is Please Please Me. I actually liked this more than the next 2 albums. They did have some good ones, like A Taste of Honey and, well, I forgot the others, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Next is Beatles for Sale. This was a step up from their first 3 albums, but it's still early Beatles, so it was more generic rock, but still really good. They did have good ones like No Reply and stuff. Next is Help. I liked the title track. It was really good. It was even in the top 5 by the end of the ranking, but I don't know, the other ones were just alright. Outside of Yesterday, that one was also good. Next is Revolver. I know people really like this album, but outside of Taxman and Love You Too, I wasn't the biggest fan. It was just alright. It was very overrated, I'm sorry. Next is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, or just Sgt. Pepper's. Same with Revolver, overrated, but there were some masterpieces on this one, though. But it was kind of overrated. Most of the songs were just alright. Next is the White Album. Very inconsistent. A lot of the best and worst songs that the Beatles made were on this album. But still, I kind of enjoyed it, honestly. It wasn't bad. Next is Magical Mystery Tour. This one was pretty good. I actually liked this one. Strawberry Fields Forever was a masterpiece. And I'm the Walrus was pretty funny. This was a really weird album, but I liked it. Next is Rubber Soul. This was a huge step up from their first 5 albums. And honestly, this is their most underrated album outside of the next one, which we'll get to. I did not hear most of the songs on here outside of the hits, but I was surprised by them. They were really good. Next is Let It Be. I don't get why this album's so overhated. I know I've already said this in the video, but I liked this one outside of Two of Us and Maggie May. I liked every song on here outside of those 2. A lot of them were in like S and A tier, so yeah. And then number 1's Abbey Road, of course. The first half is some of the greatest music ever, just ever. Some of the greatest songs of all time. It's amazing, an amazing album. The second half's really good too, though not as good. I like how all the tracks kind of like connect to each other. It's nice. Definitely their best album. I haven't talked much about this outside of the intro, but this was honestly a lot easier than the Imagine Dragons ranking, despite the fact that this was longer. I know that's not exactly fair considering the Beatles is one of the highest acclaimed bands of all time, but whatever. But this is probably going to be my last ranking at this highest scale for a while, because these rankings take a very long time to make. Anyway, I think I'm all Beatled out, so see you next video, or ranking, or whenever you next see me.